From Careco TV, one of the longest running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventure. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, this is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. Today, Americana Outdoors' Wade Middleton is launching his Ranger boat at the legendary Kentucky Lake for a bass fishing adventure on a rainy day.
We literally just launched our boat here. We're at Paris, Tennessee, at Paris Landing State Park. This is actually one of my favorite places to go, and the reason why is it's got that great fishing feeling. And you know, Kentucky Lake as a whole is one of the great bass fishing lakes, as well as crappie, that you're gonna find in the nation, and people come here from all directions to catch fish. We're gonna piddle around today. There's a lot of storms in the area. We're gonna talk about fishing when the weather's kind of bad, things that we do, and see if we can't catch a few fish while we're at it, because this lake's absolutely loaded, but that means we just gotta go find them or we're gonna be embarrassed if we don't catch them. There he is right there. There's bite number one here in Paris. Nice little chunker. Every time I see this little stretch right here, I feel like I ought to be able to come behind here and catch one. I've never had a chance to fish it. Boy, he ate it. Love it when they get it right like that. You know, when you're out fishing in weather like this, sometimes the simplest place to unload where you can be protected is a good thing. But, you know, if you're comfortable with the conditions, you can run around in any type of fishing scenario like this. And you usually have low pressure when you got storms like this. It's been my experience, when you get low pressure, you catch a lot of bass. You get out here and it starts raining. You know, I like to carry a couple different sets of rain gear with me. I usually have one real heavy duty set and one lightweight set, depending on the conditions. And it looks like it's getting ready to rain pretty hard. I'm gonna gear up in the heavy duty one real fast. You know, guys that get prepared for these types of conditions can get out here and enjoy it, and they can fish it. And tournament anglers really are specialists at being able to handle this, because a lot of guys that aren't geared up and ready for this kind of conditions, you know, they're out of the game. They're either gonna be too cold or too wet, and they just can't fish. So, you know, when you have the right gear that allows you to compete in these types of conditions, that's when you got an advantage over the competition. You get a few extra fish, you're gonna get paid at the end of the day. You know, we're just kind of cranking along here, enjoying an afternoon of fishing, and that's what's the most fun about it. All right, let's get this little spro. You know, this little bait right here, perfect for bouncing around sand drops, brush piles, rock piles. I had this guy turned every different direction it was. It really has a great wiggling. The watercolor is only about 1.5 feet right now, so I'm kind of, you know, looking at it from a scenario that I like that fire tiger color when I get in this type of a fishing condition, because I really think it shows up better. You know, the fish can be drawn into that wiggle and the action and the noise of the bait coming through there, and then they can, when they get close to it at the end, they can see that fire tiger and just fire on it, and you got him. There he is right there. God, I have made about 15 casts through there, and that's a little bitty guy right off that little rock pile before I got that bite. You know, he just as well could have been a giant. It's amazing to me sometimes how many times you have to make a cast before you can trigger a strike, and obviously that was not what I was expecting. It got real deep back here too. I might catch a giant. Well, this just looks right. You know, I love to fish around marinas with rock. I like to fish anywhere, obviously, but marinas with rocks in a scenario like this, it just feels like a great place to catch one right now. The lake is way down where we're at. You know, you gotta work a little bit a lot of times to get back behind places, maneuver around them, but if you'll take your time and not make too much noise and respect the folks' property that are all around it, you can get back into some of these and really catch some great fish. Not a very big one. Imagine that's what I've had bite it the last couple times. I've missed a couple of them about that size probably that are just kind of slapping at it in this darker color water. Didn't miss that little guy. Fish. I don't know what I've got here. Whatever I've got is maybe a drum or I don't know what it is. It's kind of spinning down there. What is that? He done snagged something. Mr. Whiskers! Ah. I knew I didn't have a bass that time. Let you go back.
For any additional information on this show or any previous shows, visit AmericanaOutdoors.com.
It's in our stomping grounds and our playground. It's in our sights and our commitment. It's in him, it was in them, and it will continue with her. It's in my nature. Is it in yours?
Gill that I've used for the last 5 years has been a far superior product than anything else on the market.
The main thing that's really important to me is me being dry. I've been wearing gill suits now for 3 years and never once have I gotten wet.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
At Yamaha, reliability is a family tradition. Meet the next generation. 4 new advanced technology-inspired inline 4-cylinder performers. Bred from the reliability and boater satisfaction that is part of Yamaha's DNA. They prove that when power gets lighter, faster, stronger, and smarter, boating gets even better and more satisfying for boaters like you.
Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Cause now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all's sonar's just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
Oh, nice shot.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic ice. Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder. Cabela's, it's in your nature. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. And by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. You know, it's not uncommon when you go fishing and the weather changes all the time. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's windy, or sometimes temperature drops drastically. You have to be ready for any situation, and Wade knows that very well.
A buddy of mine years ago literally fall out of the boat. I remember it well. It's Lake Amistad. We were practicing for a tournament. It was cold. I mean, water temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s, and he hit the trolling motor. Next thing I knew, he was swimming. Scared me to death, and I mean, he was just turning blue. And we were about 20 miles to the boat ramp, and by the time we got back there, it sounded like his teeth was like that. And you know, we didn't have extra clothes in there, didn't have the right stuff, but ever since then, I've really kind of gone out of my way to make sure I've always have an extra rain gear, because I mean, if we'd had extra rain gear, we could put him in dry rain gear. So little things like that, well, they don't sound like they're that important, they really are. So, you know, just being geared up and ready will really make a difference. Most of the fish that we're catching are way in the back. There's a lot of bait fish all the way in the backs of these pockets, so we're just covering them as much water as we can. It'd be the same thing somebody could do at home on their lake, you know, when it gets down and it's kind of cold like that. And fishing pockets that have a lot of bait fish in them. That fish right there just smoked it. And all of these pockets are just full of big threadfin shad. And we're just trying to match the hatch, for lack of a better word. That's a nice one right there. And throwing it out there and pumping it. And you know, we're mimicking exactly what these fish are feeding on. You know, the shad that we're seeing, I mean, we know threadfin shad look just like what's sticking out of the mouth of that fish right there. And with the water temperatures being cold, those shad will die. And when they die or they struggle, they just kind of flicker down, and these fish are biting it on the paws. And the bait's just falling down, and they're pow. You know, a pair of gloves like this in a fishing situation that we're dealing with right now, the temperature's dropping. You know, these are going to give you some protection against the elements, allow you to be able to fish a little longer. You know, for tournament anglers out there, to me, something like this or something similar to it, it's going to absolutely be a must. And I like to wear mine very tight. So I actually buy them generally a size small and just, you know, kind of deal with them. Some people wear the gloves where they'll actually flip over like that. I've worn some of those, they'll work as well. But I've really found that these to be phenomenal because they're a great wind stopper. I can get them a little wet. They don't retain the moisture like a lot of gloves do out there, so my hands aren't going to get necessarily as cold.
You know, when you're covering a lot of water and you begin to get bites on a lake, one of the coolest things right now to me is, okay, I got a bite in 3 foot of water, and I got those bites in the backs of pockets. Well, I can go to my Garmin and I can set my unit up to highlight the depth range that I'm getting them in. And I've really gotten big about doing that. And I've got 3 colors right now set up in there that are gonna be from, you know, like 0 to 5 and 5 to 10. And it's gonna highlight the entire lake that's gonna be water that's gonna be 0 to 5 foot. Well, what's amazing to me is when I'm running around on these lakes now and you're out in the middle and you see these little high spots or you see these little islands that are gonna light up and you can see these pockets that'll actually kind of outline where some of that is, how that gives me an instantaneous piece of confidence that I can pull in there and go right to what I call the nuts and possibly find the cover I'm looking for and hopefully catch some bass there. And that's a tool that I didn't have before. You know, I just kind of run down and it's hard to maybe look at all the contour lines and digest the information there. And now it's all color coded for you.
That's a good one right there. Fat, sassy pre-spawn, Kentucky Lake, good one. You know, you get out here twitching around, jerking around, cranking around on these ledges and drops that this lake is so famous for. Woo. A lot of times you had both hooks in there at the beginning. Hey, this fish here's been cold. He's got a cold ring mark in him. That's always so cool to me when you catch one that's been cold. I like the dumb ones though too.
Oh yeah! There's your Kentucky Lake stud right there. Is a stud right there. 2.5, 3 foot of water right on a drop. Woo! That's fun.
Well, up next, it's a beautiful day on Wilson Lake, Alabama. We'll join Wade and Clark on their favorite summertime shallow water fishing.
From the makers of Bubba Blade comes the Bubba Blade Fishing Pliers. No matter where you're headed to fish, this tool will become an integral part of your tackle box for many years to come. They feature our patented no-slip grip handles, just like our Bubba Blade knives, ensuring that this tool will stay firmly anchored in your hand. In addition to the handles, these pliers feature a super tough cobalt cutter and convenient split shot and leader sleeve crimping cutouts. The ultimate in control, strength, and durability. Bubba Blade.
Engel's got the original high-performance cooler and a whole lot more. Engel coolers, go with the original.
There's two things between an angler and the fish, the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Food Saver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Food Saver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy. Gill, respect the elements. And by Sawyer Products. Sawyer, we keep you outdoors. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. We now head to Wilson Lake, Alabama to meet up with Wade Middleton and Clark Wendlandt for an early summer fishing.
We've had good luck in Alabama before, but what do you, Alabama is known for a lot of good lakes.
It's got great fishing all over it. We're on Wilson Lake this morning. We're getting started early. We're kind of hoping the shatter spawn. You and I like fishing shallow, so we're starting off shallow.
You know, we fished down at Smith before, and obviously we do the college event on Pickwick, but there's Gunnersville, there's there's a lot of good bodies of water.
A lot of great places to fish, and you know, Alabama's always been great. They brought a lot of tournaments there, so I've had a lot of opportunities there. You fished all over the state. Great fishing all over Alabama.
Let's go catch some.
Let's do it.
You want me to go down here so you can go that way, or?
Maybe go to that side, because then the next patch is right here. We can just shoot right across to it.
Bass. That's a good one right there. A little topwater action. There's your sign. When we saw the other one, both of us didn't take any time to grab the topwater.
That's exactly right. That's why we start early in the morning a lot of times, is catch one on topwater. That's a good chunky fish.
One thing about Clark, he makes fast moves. When something doesn't go right out of the bat, he's not afraid to make a quick move in there to grab something different.
I just got to you got to get in it. I've already seen 2 blow up in it. So you're flipping it, and I'm going to get a bait in the middle of it.
I flipped right back in there on top of that fish. He didn't want any part of it. I didn't hesitate, did I?
No, you didn't hesitate a bit.
There's what bit you, probably.
Maybe.
Oh, that was awesome. I about got the cameraman back right there. Did you notice that?
You about slapped
I about got him back. I've never done that in my life, but I've never had my glasses knocked off either when I've been fishing. So we're going for another first. I probably wouldn't even have been sad. I probably would have giggled on that one. What's in that dirt? Little bitty guy. That's awesome to see, though. Aggressive.
The middle of the back of these are real shallow. And there was bluegill spawning in them. When we were here, I figured there was plenty of bluegill in them now. You know, I call this stuff water willow. You know, basically what it is it actually comes up out of the water. It looks like the, you know, willow leaves, grows in 3 to 5 feet of water, holds lots of bait. You know, there's gonna be brim in it, there can be shad in it. And what we're doing is actually going along flipping it. You can top water it, you can throw a swim jig in it. There's a lot of different ways you can fish it. When you're thinking about, you know, putting your boat in the water early in the morning, you just don't really have any idea. We both like starting shallow, so we're gonna start shallow, but then, you know, kind of the sky's the limit.
It is. You gotta go where they wanna be as the day goes on. And I'm gonna go shallow until I can't get a bite. That's just my mentality. And then I'll go, okay, I gotta get the deep stuff. But these lakes are known for depth.
Yeah, they got tons of deep water on it. Some schooling white bass right there. That's a big old shed.
That was a big shed. You wanna catch him?
Yeah, I don't know. I think those must be. We're gonna go back in that creek.
Americana Outdoors Wade and Clark continue their search for big bass in Wilson Lake, Alabama. We'll be right back after these messages. Hobie kayaks provide the ultimate lightweight fishing platforms that will offer anyone what they want when it comes time to hit the water. Hobie Kayak's commitment to innovation, quality, and owner satisfaction is unparalleled in the industry. So when it's time for you to go kayaking, remember there's only one name to remember, and that's Hobie Kayak.
What I love about the Bradley smoker is that it cooks everything perfectly and it holds all the juices in.
So today we are going to be smoking some barbecue ribs, some venison sausage, and some dove, which is awesome.
You will never grill me doves again. I have to have them in the Bradley smoker. I would prefer to use the Bradley smoker every time I cooked. Well, that's really true because I love this thing. No lie. For more recipes, log on to bradleysmoker.com.
When I talk about Sunline, I think of one word: confidence.
Sunline FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
S61 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line.
Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, has been brought to you by Bubba Blade, the ultimate sportsman's knife, Power Pole, swift, silent, secure, and by Spro, Sports Professionals. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Wilson Lake is the reservoir created by Wilson Dam as part of the Tennessee Valley Authority, or TVA. The lake stretches from Wilson Dam to Wheeler Dam.
You know, Wilson's a Tennessee River impoundment that's just a little different than the rest of them. It's got tail race, which all of them have a good tail race on them, where you can where right at the base of the dam, the water comes out, that creates current, a lot of shad go up in there, and you can catch a lot of bass in that. But then other than that, it's a little different than most of the TVA lakes. It actually is a deep lake, got lots of deep water on it, and you know, it's got lots and lots of bass in it. You know, the way this lake sets up, there isn't very many bars out in the middle. Most TVA lakes have a lot of what we call ledges. There's a couple big ledges on this lake. We may go fish them after a while, but for the most part, this lake has got deep water, so there's a lot of bluffs, there's a lot of, you know, kind of quick diving points, and then there's a lot of shoreline cover. There's a ton of wood here, plenty of docks. So you can fish shallow cover on this lake, whereas a lot of the TVA lakes, it's a little bit harder to do. Yeah, at least I caught one.
Captured one.
I actually caught one. I've been watching you catch them up till now. Not a great big one, but pretty fish. Healthy fish.
You've gotten a little heavier weight, you know, punching into this, which is really what I need to be doing. I'm not penetrating, and you're being able to make those pitches into that thicker cover.
Yeah, and one thing I think happens, you know, I mean, we're out here today. There's not You know, there's no breeze, there's no nothing. You can kind of tell everything's kind of stagnant. You don't feel like they're going to be up. You know, we're going to catch a lot of fish on moving baits. We've noticed that right off the bat. You know, you kind of started flipping right off the bat. Well, what I think now is that I need something that'll sink down there fast to get a reaction bite. And so, you know, we'll see if it works.
I'm kind of plinking on the edges. You've had 3 bites up in the thicker stuff already. And you can't with this lightweight get into
it. It just won't go in there because it just won't go over that. Fish on! You know, the thing I've noticed is, and you know, we hadn't been out here very long. Not a big one at all, but you know, they bite it as soon as it goes in there because I think the heavy weight, you know, gets them to
react to it as it goes by.
Just one of those, just kind of a reaction deal. But the right one, you know, you pitch in there and the right one will bite it too, so you just got to get him to bite it. You know, you look at this water willow that we're fishing right now, and you can kind of tell what we're keying on. We're trying to get in the middle of it to get a bite. When we stay around the outside, or if we kind of fish winding baits or topwater around it, we hadn't had very many bites. We feel like we kind of got in the middle of it. Got to have heavy rod. We're fishing a Tournament ZX flipping rod, and if you know, try to get in the middle of that, braided line, something that you can actually get a bass out when he bites. We're hoping we can catch some big fish. So far, it's just been little.
He hit it swimming.
Did he really?
Yeah.
You know, Alabama just has so much to offer. I mean, it as far as fishing goes. I mean, you got deep water, you got shallow water, you got plenty of cover. You know, they care about their fisheries. They know it's something that can draw people. People want to come to this part of the world to catch bass, and it's got good quality fishing. It's a fun state to fish.
We like to do that though when we're shallow. This suits our desires, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, one thing about it is one of these times we're going to jerk and it's going to be a good one.
It'll be a big one.
Don't forget to visit us at AmericanaOutdoors.com for in-depth stories from the fields. Hey, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production.